Hello, hello. Welcome to another pick a card video on my channel. My name is Julie Ann Fay, and I'm a professional astrologer and a certified angel card reader. On this channel, I do pick a card videos. Around the time of the new and full moons, I release them along with my email newsletters, so make sure you're signed up for that at juliannfay.com. And I also chat the current energies, just generally with my own life experience. I do a lot more writing on my blog, and sometimes I do greater in-depth blog post charts on the new and full moons, but my Astro Fairy members always get access to that. So if you're an Astro Fairy member and you're watching, make sure that you do rewatch this week's chart walkthrough because it's a pretty powerful one here. And yeah, on this channel, I'm excited to, as always, talk to you guys about, all things manifestation principles, crystals, archangels, working with the Fae, bringing in so many different modalities of spirituality is what I love to do. And I'm excited to get into this pick a card for you guys. In terms of business announcements, I don't really have too many new ones except to encourage people to sign up for my email newsletter because that's where you get the latest updates in terms of my blog posts. And I know I have people that find me from Sage App, so hello. If you found me from Sage App, welcome, welcome. So happy you're here. And yeah, so I encourage people to sign up for those. They do go out twice a month, and they're kind of like recap newsletters where you'll get the first alert about my pick a card videos, as well as all the latest in my blog posts and current offerings and current specials I'm doing. So I highly recommend signing up for that. Sometimes I do also give special incentives or little discounts to email newsletter subscribers. So even more reason to join as well there. And yeah, so this pick a card will be for this very juicy full moon in Scorpio that we've got going on. So I'm actually recording this for you a couple days before it's exact. The moon is in Libra right now, which is my natal moon sign. So yeah, definitely enjoying the vibes. And this particular full moon is an intense one. It's very wild and crazy because the sun is in Taurus with Mercury and Venus there all around Uranus. So that Uranus provides very electric energy, sudden events, spontaneous things. So you might be noticing a lot of spontaneous connections and relationships occurring, as well as a lot of like spontaneous communication. And this can go both ways, right? So this is very ungrounded energy, I should say. So I've got my Shivalingam out, which actually is a really good crystal to work with for this full moon in Scorpio. And I also was drawn to this baby, and I'm actually forgetting what it is. I think this is Tiger's Iron. It's now coming to me as I'm holding it. This is a Tiger's Iron generator, so it has a lot of different crystals in it. Really, really good for grounding. I've had this crystal for a while, which is probably why I forgot what it is, because I don't always work with it. But yeah, it's a nice piece, really nice piece. So, if you are feeling ungrounded, do make sure that you take some time to work with some grounding crystals, red foods, walk barefoot on the earth, okay? Because even though technically we're in Taurus season, which is an earth sign, there's a lot of electric energy right now. So you might be finding, and I know this has been true for me, that like, I think my day is going to go one way, and then it's like, whoa, it completely changes course, and I'm kind of like here, there, and all over the place. But then at the end of the day, I reflect back and realize that those detours and kind of like all those twists and turns actually were quite exciting and opened me up to new people, places, and things. So it can be a little bit of a wild ride, which can be stressful if there's a way to have that where it's stressful. But if you're able to remind yourself that it's just like very electric energy, right? And that you want to just kind of like do the best you can to work through it for what it is at that time. I know I've also had some interesting communications come through as well, things like that never happen. And yeah, it's been a lot. And some of it's funny because it's just like, because I am an astrologer, I know that there's so much Uranian aspects going on. So I can quickly kind of reframe it and compartmentalize it and be like, oh yeah, this is just like weird Uranian stuff that's going down, that like this person is messaging me from this place and all of these crazy things, so there is a way to approach this with a sense of play and humor, and I've been enjoying it so far, I have to admit. And I love Scorpio energy though. I just love it. I'm a super Virgo, but I love Scorpio because it's very raw and authentic, and Scorpios are the best at getting to the raw truth and just steering clear of, you know, they have like zero tolerance for like manipulation and lies, which Scorpio has that a bit too, or sorry, Virgo has that a bit too, because Virgo, by their solar method, their third house is actually Scorpio. So Virgos tend to think like Scorpios in an interesting way, which I think is why I often enjoy Scorpio energy, because I like the way that they think, you know, it resonates with kind of how I think sometimes. So yeah, but as I've advised to some, you know, clients that I've done my customized moon reports for this month, everybody's got, of course, an individual natal chart. So the way that this full moon will manifest for you is super personalized to where it's impacting you in your natal chart, right? So if you do have a lot of energy in fixed signs, right? So Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio, you're definitely going to be impacted by this energy because it's all about the fixed signs, right? It's basically a Taurus opposing Scorpio party with also squares down to Aquarius. So there's a lot of energy that's being held and being like examined from multiple viewpoints, you know? So I was reading something today about just when there is this much fixed energy, it can actually be really healthy for us to find ways to invite in flexibility and adaptability into our lives. That's kind of what I was talking about just before too, how you might get frustrated that your day gets disrupted or that like your flow gets interrupted, right? Or like this person spontaneously texts you or does something out of nowhere. But you just kind of have to adapt to it and roll with it, because it's just part of kind of like the world and society that's like pulsing and kind of emerging through new thoughts and energy cycles right now. So you have to just kind of like allow it and honor it for what it is. And the more that you can roll with it, the more that you'll actually find that you're opened up to new experiences and new people that maybe you wouldn't have originally sought out or done, you know, but you happen to say yes to that thing or to try this or to do that. Now, it doesn't mean that you should be completely spineless and not have boundaries, right? You want to still have that self-worth in place, which is what Taurus is really good at teaching us about. But there's an interesting mixture going on of this Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius energy that's needing to be balanced. So it's certainly a powerful moon, not gonna lie. So as always, let me show you guys which decks that I'm using, and we'll start there. So, and like I always say, these are the decks that I was called to use for this particular pick a card. I may or may not pull cards from all of these decks for your pile, but don't worry, because each pile has its own energetic fingerprint. So you're really tuning into the energetic fingerprint of what that is. Also, a quick shout out, as always, to Roxx Polish. Tonight I've got on, I believe it's lapis lazuli. Yeah, lapis lazuli, which is this beautiful dark blue color, which is not really coming up. There we go. And I've actually got shungite, which is so good for EMF protection. I was feeling to go with some darker polish for this full moon in Scorpio. So I always like to shout out her work because she makes crystal infused nail polish, and it's totally cruelty free, and it supports a small business owner. So check out her Etsy shop. I do have a coupon code. It should be in the description of this video. But if it's not, then you can always go to my Eco Fairy Guide, which is a blog post where I have all of my recommendations of various eco-friendly products, and some, not all, but some of them are small business sellers. So you can check that out. In fact, I've also got other things. I'm all decked out with lots of small business owner stuff right now. So that's the way to go. But we have Goddess Guidance cards by DV. I'm not going to say her name because we all know who she is. Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. The Lenormand, I don't always work with the Lenormand on my pick a card videos, but I do work with this on a personal level, and I find the Lenormand is like so the real deal. Not that the other decks aren't, but this one is so spot on with what it gives. And then I've got the Good Witch Tarot here. I forget who this is by. I should know this because I work with this deck a lot. But the Good Witch Tarot. And then this is actually a new deck that I got, which I'm really excited about. I will be doing a blog post where I'll be kind of featuring this a little bit more. But this is actually a very special oracle that is that I pre-ordered and was waiting for, and it's a very like a niche or custom oracle deck, I guess you could say, and this is called the Slavic Oracle. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get this. Number one, it's actually produced by a fellow light worker in the same state I'm in, which was so cool to support a fellow small business owner. But number two, my heritage, my ancestry on my mother's side is entirely Czech and Slovak. So I really was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen a deck like this before, and got so excited about it. So I have been working with this on a personal level and have gotten quite attuned to its energy by now. And like I said, I'll be featuring more about it, but I wanted to do a shout out and just pick a card with that. And then I actually have my self-love affirmations that I've made. These are actually printable self-love affirmation cards, and you can get these on my Etsy shop. So check out the link in the description for that. And then depending upon how I feel called, I may pull some runes, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna queue up the 3 piles and I will be right back. Oh, and before I do that, please make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out my channel a lot. All right, I'm excited, excited to get into the pile pick for you guys. And as always, I love to be surprised at the same time you guys do, so I do my best to not really peek at the cards while I'm shuffling. We did get a jumping card though, however, and I felt strongly to share this as a message for the collective. So it is, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Ixchel, Ixchel, medicine woman. You are a channel for divine healing power. So good. So right away when I looked at this card, I was really drawn to the lightning, which is actually related to Uranian energy. Okay, so lightning strikes and electricity is strongly associated with the planet Uranus. So, and it's interesting, we do have that bird of paradise there in the bottom right, and then we have this beautiful waterfall with even like this rainbow energy here. So there's a lot of different elements represented here. In a way, it's like with the bird of paradise, this is like kind of Taurus energy, right? And then with the waterfall here, this could be more of that Scorpio energy. And the lightning strikes on the top are actually like Aquarius energy, because Aquarius rules the upper heavens and Uranus especially the upper heavens. So I feel like this card is just really showing what I was kind of channeling at the beginning about this need to balance between these different elements and these different desires of fixed energy. So Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius. So there will be times in which you might feel like, whoa, I've got to download. I've got like, that was actually my Friday. My yesterday was wild and crazy. And I was just like, oh, like all over the place. But I love every choice that I made and everything that I did, even though it was very hectic. And I was kind of communicating and with all these different people and doing all these different things. It was actually really good. It felt so good to be kind of in that exciting energy and tapping into that more innovative energy and just excitable energy. I love that so much. So there will be times in which you do have to step into that, you know. There will be times in which you need to step into your feelings, your emotions, this deep energetic work within your emotional space. And then there will be times in which you need to unplug from the technology, the kind of societal, the people things, and sometimes unplug from this like emotional, energetic, spiritual work and really just be present with the earth, you know, listening to the birds, soaking up some sun, making a super healthy meal for yourself, you know, something tasty to eat, and spending time just being present with the earth as it's blossoming and is right now. So I really love this card as just like a metaphor for this full moon and the ways that we need to balance these different energies and work them. And it's interesting too, because that actually forms a triangle, which in, you know, numerology, the number 3 is linked to ascended masters and is considered to be kind of like a very important geometric shape because it forms the base of energy upon which we can then build more and more foundation, right? When we get to 4, it's more solid and so on. So I really love that. And I'm grateful that we did have that jumping card come out because I think it's really, really appropriate, you know, and I think that there's times in which sometimes you're going to want to be tapping into the latest app or, you know, be in a Facebook group or be talking to people socially online or doing things in a more, you know, kind of like electric, you know, technology based way, then there's going to be times where you're like, you know what, no, I just kind of want to unplug from that. I want to take a bath. I want to take a nap. I want to focus on wearing the clothes I want to wear and eating the foods I want to eat, versus, okay, maybe I need to do some energetic clearing right now because there's some deeper limiting beliefs or some conscious patterns that I'm present to here that need my attention, you know? So you know kind of where on this triangle you're at right now and which one of these needs to be worked. And it, as is always the case in life, everything always changes. So you might be having a little bit of this one day and some over here and some over there. And this could also be a message as well, because as I always like to teach people with these moon cycles, it's not like we have the new full moon 1-2 days and like boom, that's it. It's a 2-week cycle, right? The divine feminine is cyclical. So it's a 2-week cycle that we're in, where we're integrating the energy of what that new full moon was about. So the full moon triggers it, and then it takes us 2 weeks to fully integrate it. Okay, so you can apply this medicine for effectively the 2 weeks that this video is, you know, that I put it up for, but all my videos are always timeless as well. So let's get into the pile pick. All right, so this, and like I always say, you know, they're going to all look the same from the back. So this is an opportunity for you to tune into your intuition and really just access what is the energetic feeling behind this pile, and do I feel like it's right for me? So pause this video, center yourself, take a deep breath if you need to. And, you know, for me, I'm very clairsentient, so I feel it very strongly in my body. But if you need a little bit of an extra boost, you can also just use your hand, which is a chakra. There's a chakra in your hand, and you can use that and even just use your hand chakra over the pile as it's on screen and see if you get, you know, kind of a sense there. All right, so this is the energy of pile 1. Okay, so that is pile 1. This is the energy of pile 2. And this is the energy of pile 3. All right, so I'm going to attempt to hold these up for you guys at the same time, less my affirmation cards because they're just going to fall off. Okay, so this is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3 there. All right, so this is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. All right, so with that being said, I am going to roll right into pile 1 here. So use the timestamps to navigate to the pile that you picked, which will be in the description box of this video. And sometimes you also pin them in the comments, and I'll see you at your pile pick. All right, so pile 1 peeps. Whoa, they all fell out. That was happening too while I was shuffling cards. They were jumping all over the place, which again, I feel is like this Uranian energy. So these are the cards for you, pile number 1 peeps. Let's see what you got. I'm excited to get into your cards. So I'm just going to take a second to flip over these cards and just acclimate to what we've got going on. And I will say as well, for the Slavic oracle, they have very specific kind of traditions and stories associated with them. So I'll probably be referencing the guidebook a little bit for that. And why do I feel like I'm missing something here though for you? I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe that's how you feel right now, because that's a feeling that's come through. I feel like something is missing. Also get a rune for you guys. Okay, I'm feeling drawn to 2. All right, well, first of all, oh no, I was gonna say. I thought you got the rune that is all that is, which is the blank one, which is so cool to get, but you didn't. So Yeah, pile number one, peeps. I'm wondering if there's part of you that feels a little bit incomplete in some type of way, or you feel, so some of you, it could be this feeling of like something is missing or you can't quite put your finger on it. For others of you, it could just be that you feel very scattered, like scatterbrained. You feel like you can't remember things or you're a little all over the place. This could be also because you feel maybe a little bit torn between your mind and your intuitive abilities, because we do have Page of Swords here, which is about a lot of communication, you know, talking to a lot of people. This can also carry in the energy though of gossip, so be careful about that, okay? And you know, Page of Swords can be a little bit of immature communication, not gonna lie, in some type of way. And then we do have the High Priestess here, okay? So this is about just really recognizing, do you have to share all things with all people, you know, and going within to ask yourself, is this appropriate for me to say to this person right now? Sometimes we are meant to tell people all parts of the story, but we have to kind of like drip feed it to them, you know, because if we share, it's like if we share too much too soon, we can like weird people out, or we can just overwhelm them, you know. So there really is an art in communication and learning how to share things with people at the right time and in the right dosage. So you might be going through a bit of that right now, where perhaps you yourself feel like you're on the receiving end of maybe a lot of gossip, maybe your friends are like really chatty right now, or there's just, it could be coworkers as well, work things, but there's a lot of energy here where it's like you feel like you're kind of in this situation where there's a lot of communication going on and you don't always know if you should jump in or participate. So this is saying use your intuition to guide you on when is appropriate to share things or when is appropriate to jump in or talk about things, right? Because I get the sense that you guys there might be some overwhelm here, because we have Green Tara, start delegating. And this is coming up above beauty. So it says, ask others, including me, to help you. Including me means Green Tara. To help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. And with this beauty card here, so what I'm getting is that there might be a real need for like a timeout for you guys. It's so beautiful because it's like shaped like a face, but it's also a plant. So this could be encouraging you to start delegating. So can you block off some time in your calendar where you're not talking to your friends, you're not talking to your coworkers? You know, this could be a real need for you to take some alone time, maybe some spa time, to go get a massage, or just go for a walk in nature with, you know, your pet, and just be still and just connect with like the beauty of nature, or just reconnect with your body in some type of way. You know, draw a salt bath and put some essential oils in there, some rose petals if you can, and like just make it so beautiful, which is super Taurus approved, you know. And just be like, hey, like I'm off limits to talk to right now. Put your phone on airplane mode, or don't even bring it into the bathroom. Just shut it off completely. Put a sign on the door and be like, for this amount of time, I am off duty, you know. This could be like even just this energy of like mom on duty, which, you know, I'm not a mom, but I'm a fur baby mom. And I know that even that is a lot of work sometimes, right? So just putting out this energy of like, I need some time to myself, and figuring out, can you delegate other people in the household or other people in your family to help support you to make this TLC time with yourself happen, you know? It could be that you are actually kind of exhausted from how much communication has been going on. Maybe some of it very immature communication, or just like, you know, superfluous, like just like extra and like gossip and gossip news. Maybe you've been consuming lots of gossip news and stuff like that. So this is saying like really try and unplug from that and go more within, because you're going to find if you reconnect with your intuition, you won't be as attracted to this information. Sometimes we're attracted to like gossip information just because, you know, it's kind of like low-hanging fruit, right? So if we want to be mentally stimulated, it can be really easy to want to you know, consume like gossip articles online, or to talk to people about the latest things that are going on with people that they know or something. And that's just because like we might be craving the desire to communicate or excite our mind in some type of way. But there is a way to also access that type of mental stimulation in a more high vibe way, right? So maybe listening to like a spiritual audiobook when you get that urge instead, or, you know, a spiritual talk on YouTube, or just like something exciting that's like not gossip related, you know, something that could stimulate your mind. And this can be too, this is very Aquarius energy that's kind of coming through with this, where the shadow side of Aquarian energy, and I always like to specify it's the energy, not the person, because we all have all of the signs in our natal chart. We all have them expressed in our natal chart. Even if you don't have planets in that sign in your chart, you still have that in a house in a specific location in your chart. So we all have these energies, all 12 of them within us, and nobody is, better or worse than another person for having more or less of a particular energy. They're just different expressions, right? But each expression of that energy does have kind of like a positive side and a shadow side, or a more challenging side. The positive side of Aquarius energy is absolutely being able to bring people together, to communicate with friends, to come up with ideas together, to do things for the benefit of the group and the community. The shadow side of it can be that you can become almost like obsessive about what your friends or brothers and sisters, of humanity are doing in such a way that it's like you're kind of too much in their business, like you're asking them a lot of questions, being nosy, or just like consuming gossip content, because you want that stimulation to know what the world or what these people are doing. And the reality is like, obviously there's a market for it, right? Because there are tabloid magazines, but a lot of times it's like a quick high when you're consuming that content. It's actually not fueling your soul, so that's why it's the shadow side of that sign, because the higher expression of Aquarius is about using that brilliant intellectual energy and desire to be intellectually stimulated to create solutions, to find ways to solve the world's problems and to figure out ways to bring people together in more unity, peace, and love. So as you could see, it could span like a huge amount in terms of the intellect here. So you might have to do some work right now to really just carve out some time to like detach from maybe some of this gossip or this like overstimulation of communication, and really get back into more of your emotional body, going back to and if you skipped over that, do make sure you watch from the beginning, because I channeled a card at the beginning that was like a message for the collective, and I talk about balancing between different energies there. And we have, from the Lenormand, we have the Man card, which is pretty self-explanatory, one of the few in this deck that's self-explanatory, which is card number 28, and we have the dog here. So this is a beautiful energy here. The dog represents loyalty. It can literally be about a pet, but this, in the Lenormand, we always pull cards in pairs. So reading these cards together, this is showing me that there's someone in your life that is either a man or has strong male energy or strong divine masculine energy that is presenting themselves as very loyal and very trustworthy to you right now, So this might even be someone that you could lean on or ask for support within, with that energy of delegating, whether this is like a hubby or a partner or a friend, or, even like a fatherly figure in some type of way. This is someone who could give you that they're loyal to you, in that if you tell them, hey, I need help with this, or hey, I'd like to communicate with you about this, or hey, I could use your support to get some advice on this, they're going to be able to provide that loyalty to you in a supportive and positive way. So this is a good heads up energy that this person, whoever it is that you're thinking about, this man, is trustworthy and is someone that is safe for you and loyal for you to seek support from, okay? And then we also have from the 14th, this is my self-love affirmation, principle cards. We have, I am financially free. So I love that so much. So this could also be saying, and this came up next to harvest from the Slavic Oracle. So this could be saying that if you're kind of like worrying or over obsessing about maybe bills or finances or things related to your career, that if I detach or take a break from this, is it going to kind of go, to SHIT, right? If I take a break from working on this project or putting my energy in this, and this is saying that you're actually really supported right now financially, so you're in a safe place to take some space from this, to delegate this work to some other people if possible. Not saying you completely remove yourself from the project, but let them kind of put some energy in as well, and don't feel like you have to put all that work energy in just by yourself. Let them come forward with some energy about this. And this is just for me acknowledging that you're actually in a really good place where you're being supported with this. So you do need to kind of like ease up and trust that if you do take that time to maybe ask for help from other people or to take some time for yourself, that it's going to be okay from a financial and from a career perspective. And from this, for this Slavic oracle, it says that so I'm just going to intuitively skim because I'm not going to read everything, but it says one of the most popular customs associated with this day was the creation of a harvest wreath. This wreath, known in Polish as a winiak, could be worn by the hardest working girl in the fields as she and her fellow workers would walk in a joyous procession to present it to the field's landowner or other authority. And it talks about keywords: abundance, accomplishment, confidence, crowning, happiness, wheat, passing the torch, pride, prosperity. It says you will be recognized for your work and your integrity, but the results of your hard work will not be all yours to keep. The pride in your work will be the only thing you can keep for yourself. So, and sometimes the divination meanings in the guidebook, I found that I resonate with part of it, but not all of it. What I'm getting for you guys with this is just that, remember that sometimes when we're creating something and we're producing abundance, it takes a village, right? So part of it is, yes, we do get to put in that work and have pride in our accomplishments and to be recognized. But a lot of times we forget that, you know what? People want to help. People want to be part of it too, right? So people want, the main message you guys have is that people may want to help you if you're just willing to kind of open up to other people helping you, you know? And I think that if you open yourself up to say, hey, I need help, to talk to people, to maybe delegate some things, some chores or some tasks that maybe are overburdening you right now, I think it's going to really support you to feel even more abundant, you know, and even more able to create that space to connect with your intuition. And then from the runes, you guys got these two beautiful runes. So I do not have all these memorized. I have some memorized by now, but I'm going to give you guys the info on these. So this particular one, this beautiful one here, is rune number 23, which is Othala. It represents inheritance and symbolizes ancestry, possessions, heritage, experience, and value. And then this beautiful one, I just got to check that you guys can see what I'm seeing here, is, give me 1 second. I'm not seeing this one here, but I should be. Sometimes the shape of them can vary. I don't know why. I can't find this one for you guys. It might be that one, but let me pause this video and take a second look here. I don't want you guys to have to wait too long. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Detachment was the key, which is super Uranian as well. This is Thurisaz. It represents a thorn and it symbolizes reaction, defense, conflict, catharsis, and regeneration. So for you guys, with these runes that are talking about ancestry and inheritance, this could absolutely be saying that, again, you're being supported from people around you, people in your group or community, specifically someone with male energy or carrying this kind of Saturnian or masculine energy here is very loyal to you and they're providing that support. So it could also be like actually someone, you know, an ancestor, a male ancestor that's actually coming in and also providing that support. And I think that with this energy of the thorn here about catharsis and regeneration, it's saying that, you know, it's just acknowledging that you do need to press a little bit of a reset button here, because what might be happening is that you're overburdened with work or communication in some type of way. And this at times is causing you to dip into potentially more immature communications with people, or even just this kind of lower vibe gossipy energy, when you could be actually using that energy for more problem solving and kind of seeking out solutions and doing things from like a higher good perspective. And again, there's this really strong message of like, take time out to take some time for yourself, delegate, ask for people to help you take on small parts of the project, or say, take on some chores or responsibilities that you have. And you can really be rest assured that with these three together, it's saying that you're really being supported by your family, by your ancestry, by resources around you, to support you financially and from a career kind of bills perspective during this process. So you're absolutely safe to sort of take this time off, or to detach and kind of come back to the task at a later date, okay? And honestly, I've found as well that sometimes we can get ensnared in like tricky communications or tricky scenarios with people. And a lot of times, well, let me rephrase. So sometimes it's because just energetically, the two of you aren't very compatible. That does happen a lot, right? But I do think that even people that are energetically incompatible can still find common ground and common areas to find peace and agree upon. They may not agree on everything, but there will be some things that they can find common ground on. But it does require both of those people showing up to the scene from a more peaceful energy, and an energy in which they themselves are embodying that higher frequency of communication. So, you know, as Abraham Hicks would say, like being in the vortex, right? So the things you'll manifest and the things that will flow will be really different for you if you're approaching it with this energy where you yourself are more recharged and more joyous and more aligned. Okay, so the main message for you, well, there's many messages in here, but to really try and disconnect from this type of energy, you know, so that you can move into more higher vibrational communication energy, and trusting that you're safe, that you're supported with the resources and people you have around you to press reset, to take that detachment time. But you do have to speak up and ask people for that help, okay? So sending you so much love, pile one. Please leave a comment down below if, well, I know you picked this pile because you're listening to it, but I love, love, love hearing from people when they, you know, listen to a particular pile. It means the most to me, the comments, you know, because when I see like positive, supportive comments, it's what keeps me going to come back and keep making more videos. There was someone who commented recently how she loves to receive my videos like every 2 weeks, and that just lit me up so much. It made me feel so loved and appreciated and so good, and made me want to come back and do this video. So, you know, I love hearing from you guys about how you're resonating with the piles, and just if you're enjoying the channel, I love hearing that. And I really, you know, I don't know if you enjoyed it unless you leave a comment and let me know. So that's really the best way to show your appreciation in my book. You know, I know subscribing to the channel is always really good, as well as the likes. For me, the comments, I love the most. So all the better if you can do all three, but I love, love, love when people can leave comments. That makes me really happy. All right, sending you love, pile one peeps. All right, pile number two peeps. These are the cards for you. Let's get into it. So I'm excited I just smudged a little bit, so I have a couple ashes on my laptop, but I'm excited to get into these card pulls for you guys. Just give me a second to acclimate to what we've got going on here. Okay, interesting. And as I told pile one, I will be referencing a bit from the guidebook for the Slavic Oracle, because it has a lot of anecdotal stories and keyword associations and some things there that goes along with it. It's interesting too, because I'm pretty sure this is Lily, if I'm not mistaken, from the Lenormand, but I want to just double check. And make sure I've got it right for you guys. Okay. All right, so pile number two peeps, we have some interesting energy here, and I'm actually drawn to even start with the Slavic Oracle card. So we have Talisman, but this actually came up in reverse. So let's just take a peek from the guidebook about what this is all about. I have not pulled this card yet. This, like I said, this deck is new and I've been working with it, but I'm still getting used to what some of the cards mean. Why do I not see this card? Must be the last card in the deck. Yes, it is. So it says an object, typically an inscribed ring or stone that is thought to have magic powers and to bring good luck. And it says Slavic rag dolls made with wound cloth serve as talismans to their owners. In Poland and Belarus, these traditional dolls can grant any wish and are known as zadanica. In Russia, this doll is called travnitsa, meaning herb doll, and in Ukraine, the faceless doll is named motanka. The motanka doll is superstitiously made. Its creator must only assemble the doll while in good spirits and in one session. The doll mustn't be made with the use of scissors nor needles, and there should be no knots within the doll. The specific construction of the doll, in addition to its components, are crucial parts of its magic. It is filled with, if it is filled with coins, it brings wealth. If the creator thinks good thoughts while constructing it, the doll will bring goodness to its intended owner. And this kind of goes on for a bit, so I'm gonna skim ahead here and just intuitively scan for you guys. So it says, upright keywords: amulet, ancestors, beauty, comfort, femininity, friend, gift, good luck, maternal love, perfection, prosperity, safety. But then in reverse, callousness, disregard, selfishness, ungratefulness. And, reversed, it's talking about, there's some language here that's a bit harsh, so I'm going to kind of rephrase this a little bit, but still hold true to the meaning of the card, which is saying that, there's this energy here of not applying things with care and, appeal to your ancestors and reconnect with others. Now, I know that sounds kind of harsh, and most of the cards that I've been pulling from this deck have not been quite that harsh, I will say. But we have to look at this card within the context of everything else in the spread, okay? So basically, this is talking about a doll that's basically used as kind of like a gift or offering, but if misaligned or if created with an energy that's not of love, it could be representing more shadow energy, shall we say, right? So it could be not representing the best of what we have to offer because it's not reflecting the fact that it was made with concern, care, and love, right? And with the fact that it came up in reverse. And you guys do have some cards that indicate that there's been some maybe strife or some struggle, because we do have Lily here, which is about, this is definitely like a beauty energy card, but it's more so about, because the Lenormand's really weird. So there's many layers of meaning to the images in the cards. So for Lily, this is about, kind of like ancestor energy and grandmotherly energy and kind of like matriarchal energy in a way, right? But this carries an energy of femininity and beauty, but along with that, the sense of lineage, right? The sense of like long-term ancestry or grandmother, grandfatherly energy there. And with the snake, this can be indicating hidden things. This could be, treachery or jealousy. But this can also be this energy of shedding and letting go of those things that are shadowy, right? And behind the scenes. I'm actually going to intuitively scan for you guys from the guidebook as well for these two. So for snake, it's general meaning: treachery, complication, problem, jealousy, and unpleasant woman, betrayal. And then for Lily, peace, maturity, old age, grandfather, mentor, retirement, calm, elderly, peaceful, serene, discreet. So there could be something here for people that pick this pile where there is conflict or there is tension or potentially even jealousy from an older woman in your life. This could be someone that kind of seeds unhappy dolls your way in some type of way, right? Certainly with this full moon in Scorpio, it's like that energy coming up and out, right? Wanting to be looked at, to be healed. I'm also, though, getting this sense, and you do have some cards here too, which we'll get into, that kind of do convey that how much perhaps this person has hurt you, because we do have 3 of Swords here. And we do have this with 8 of Wands. So 8 of Wands indicates like a flurry of activity, a lot of energy, right? So it might be that this person hasn't, it's not like one specific breakup or experience with this person. It's like a series of like repeated, like, I have to be on my guard. I have to be defensive with you. I have to figure out how to manage my energy with you. That's kind of what I'm getting with that combo there. I'm also, though, getting the sense, so for some of you, this could be about one specific person, and you probably already know who this is as I'm talking about it. But for others of you, I think this could also be about kind of like, you know, because there's been a strong, there was some indications of it in the first pile, a little bit about ancestry. And I know that's been on my mind a lot. Even a spiritual teacher that I follow, he's talked about how April has a lot of ancestral healing this month. So there could be something here too where, because, and I'll get back to that thought in a second, but from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, you guys have sovereignty, right? So this is about the energy you want to feel, stepping into this energy of being this almost like, you know, awesome high priestess energy that's like really clear on her power, really strong and assertive on how she's connected to her feminine energy and her divine feminine power. And there's a lot of planetary energy in this as well, you know, so it's like understanding your own astrology, understanding the transiting astrology, being really clear on your place in and amongst kind of the cosmos and why you're here and who you're here to help and what you're here to do. Just really being so strong in your power there, you know. And we do actually have the triangle that's in the background. So do make sure, if you didn't listen to it from the very beginning, I do have a card that I channeled that was for the collective, and I talk about this energy of the triangle with these three different energies. So you might be doing some work on balancing those three energies really strongly right now, you know. But yeah, this could be, so for some of you, it could be this one particular woman or a person with really feminine energy that maybe is older than you, that continues to kind of keep you on your toes, potentially continues to kind of like throw swords or arrows, like energetic kind of attack at you in some type of way, like, you know, kind of like energy vampire vibes, which does hurt you a lot. And it requires you to have to put in a lot of energy to defend yourself against that. Because it could be that, like, it could be that they're not even fully aware or present to how much they can seed these dolls that are sewn with like not the best of intentions. Maybe they don't realize that they have this, that they're harboring this negative energy. They don't realize that they bring that to the table, because with this snake here, this is like very like trickery. So it might be unseen to them. They might not realize that they do this, you know. But nevertheless, you as a sensitive might be very well aware that this is a reality. So this does require you to figure out how to navigate this, you know. And I think that I am just getting the sense, though, that even if it's that one person, this one person is still linked to almost like a past life pattern or some type of ancestral or like going back through generations type of healing. You know, did this particular woman who wounds you, was she wounded by her own mother, right? Or someone else around her, another female figure around her, and so on, kind of going back down the line. So I think this is an opportunity for you to actually like step up and be like, okay, I recognize that there's a pattern of wounding here down kind of like this matriarchal line, or down this divine feminine energy. Well, it's not really divine feminine if it's being misused in that way, but down this kind of feminine line, wherever that's coming from, for you to recognize that, okay, I see that there are these patterns, there's this backstabbing, or there's this really just toxic energy here. And I have to do this work to be in my power, to be really clear on my boundaries, to be assertive about why I'm here, what my needs are, what my strategy is, while I'm spending time or being around this person. If you can't completely avoid them, being really strategic when you are around them about how you give your energy to them, or how you know, coordinate your time with them even, you know. And this Coventina purification card, it's time for a cleansing, detoxification of your body and mind. This, I feel, is saying that purifying, you know, so having a regular practice where you're smudging, where you're salt scrubbing, where you're clearing yourself of these energies that you might be absorbing from this person around you that brings that energy in. So having a really strong purification, energy clearing practice is really important for people that pick this pile. As well as, again, I think this is about doing some ancestral healing and clearing on a just a broader stroke message, right? About, okay, I do recognize that there's wounding, that there's patterns in the family or in this energy in this way. And it's kind of like the buck stops here, you know, like I see this pattern, I call it out for what it is, which is super Scorpio, right? I call it out for what it is, and I'm not tolerating this anymore. I'm going to detach from the situation, clear my energy, do what I need to do to get back into my place of personal power, and then consciously and intentionally choose to not repeat that cycle, right? So, Archangel Gabriel, help me kind of communicate here the main message, because I'm feeling a lot of different ones. So I'm just hearing very simply, own your power. Okay, so own your power. So recognizing that you're a powerful being and that you're worthy and deserving of manifesting and doing amazing good things in this world, and that you don't have to let these people that maybe try to psychically attack you, try to take you down, you know, or tear you down. From my self-love affirmation cards, we have, I welcome positive change into my life with open arms. And we have, I accept that I am here for a greater good. So I think that this is really, you know, acknowledging that everybody that's here on this earth has a purpose and a mission to be here. Otherwise you wouldn't be here anymore, right? You have a purpose about why you're here if you're still here. So acknowledging that these people that are kind of like nagging or giving you this kind of attacking energy, that is them projecting their kind of unhealed, unconscious wounds, right? And you get to decide, although you cannot control their behaviors and what they say or do, the choices they make, that is out of your control. What you can decide is how much of that you're going to allow into your auric field, into your conscious waking mind, into your energy in that way. So this is where this purification comes in, right? If you're around it and in some ways you don't have a choice but to kind of slightly be around it for whatever reason right now, doing that work to clear that energy as it comes up and through you, right? So when we can clear through having simple rituals, I do actually have a chakra clearing curriculum that I wrote. It's like many pages long, and it's got like beginner, intermediate, and advanced techniques. That's available for sale on my Etsy, so you can check that out. It's a really good resource. I give you practical tools involving everything from, you know, even using crystals and flowers to help with clearing energy, and salt. So yeah, definitely check that out if you want more support there. And I'm going to pull another card for you guys. Let's pull one more here. Bonus card for pile 2. Oh, so good. Lakshmi, bright future. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. So beautiful. So Lakshmi, who's the Hindu goddess of prosperity and abundance, also really closely linked to Ganesha and the Hindu goddesses. Interestingly, who I called on before doing this pick a card, Sarasvati and Parvati, who are related to kind of music and the healing arts. So you can certainly look into working more with the Hindu goddesses, gods and goddesses, if that might give you some support right now. But I think this is coming in to say that yes, there's been hurt. You've had to be defensive. You've had to be on your guard. You've had to figure out how to shield yourself from like psychic attack in many type of ways. This could also be too about not letting these wounds or kind of toxic belief systems, perhaps inherited from the family or something there, to get to you about the fact that you can't succeed or that you can't fulfill your purpose. There's a strong message here of like, you absolutely can and are becoming this more empowered goddessy version of yourself, you know, and your future is bright, you know. Really resonating with this pile. I'm not going to tell you guys what pile I picked, but let's just say I'm really resonating with this pile. So there's a really strong message here about just believing in yourself that you absolutely can embody this. And the more and more that you embody this, the easier and easier it becomes for you to have space from that person, place, situation, or thing which is toxic. Because literally, by the way manifestation and kind of energetic frequency works, it's not possible for you to actually energetically align with that thing anymore once you've kind of learned the lessons and you've almost like created those shields or boundaries towards that, where you say like, I don't want to subscribe to that anymore. I don't want to consume that anymore. And this may require you to also, this energy here, purification, which is about cleansing your energy. Okay, so make sure that you're doing salt scrubs on a regular basis to cleanse your energy. I know for me, it's harder to take a bath where I'm at, so salt scrubs are actually kind of a better way to go for me, and that's why I like to offer that to people, as well as, there's many ways smudging as well. It's interesting too, so I've actually never noticed it with this card before, but this card definitely has a fair bit of vulnerability to it, right? Because she is naked, although she's kind of partially clothed on the bottom, but she's still kind of naked. So there's a sense of vulnerability here. And it's interesting because this is very like Scorpio, like kind of dark here, but what the heck? It's a full moon in Scorpio. So we get to go into some shadowy stuff. This kind of bird here, its wings are very much tipped in red. So this could be that this is how you feel sometimes. You feel like you're trying to be this bird of peace, where you want to just be free to have peace, but it's like sometimes you feel like your wings are almost like coated in blood in some type of way. It's like you're trying to be this peace-loving being, but there's a lot of poison out there that sometimes coats your feathers, and it's hard for you, but if we look to the other side of that, we see the cup, and the cup is kind of running over. So that's like very Ace of Cups energy, right? Which is the sense of emotional fulfillment. So the way out of this is for you to look towards being emotionally supportive to yourself. And that kind of goes hand in hand with this, right? So to really look at, how can I emotionally nourish myself? Is it that I need to practice like super radical self-care today, this week, this month? Is it that I need to have specific strategies in place that are my go-tos for when this type of psychic attack energy happens, and I can figure out how to re-nourish myself after being wounded by that? I know for myself, I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way about establishing boundaries, and even went through something just recently with that, where it can be very easy to, once you've established those boundaries and you're in this place of power of like, sorry, do not subscribe, I just cannot have that in my energy field, and I'm going to take action accordingly to distance myself or not communicate with you, etc. It can be hard sometimes to hold that energy, to maintain it, because it's one thing to do it once, but you actually have to maintain it repeatedly before it becomes like a strong habit and people really get it. Like, okay, she really means business about this, right? So it actually does involve you having to be authentic and real and consistent with yourself, because it's far easier to do boundary setting one time. It's far harder to do it multiple times and continue that as a habit and establish that as a habit. So this is about you also learning how to establish this habit, and to, over time, you'll just get better and better at it. And it doesn't mean that when you do this, you're devoid of emotions. Like the boundary setting I had to do recently, it, on one level, it does make me sad, that it's part of that reality. But equally, when I weigh out the other side of it, I recognize how, because I did have those boundaries in place, I was able to navigate my day and get all kinds of beautiful things created and done in my life and within that day that probably wouldn't have happened if those boundaries were weak and I kind of like, let them crumble and got sucked into kind of their vibe. I would have gone in maybe a totally different direction with my day and maybe lost time and energy to do things that are really good for me. So I think it's important to remember that when you're doing this boundary setting, it's not like you're going to become like a robot and become devoid of feelings. You're going to have feelings that come up. You're probably going to have some guilt or shame come up, especially empaths and highly sensitives, especially empaths have this a lot, where it's like, we feel guilty about setting boundaries, because we feel like, oh, well, it's all love and light and like everyone should get along. And it's like, not everybody comes from the same energetic place. And if you have a really clear mission and really clear energetic path that you're supposed to be working in this world, you have to be savvy about where you're putting your time and energy, right? Because you want to be applying your energy to the right people, the right spaces, the right places that are receptive to it, that will pick up that momentum and continue to grow them and you along with it. So this involves you being realistic and authentic about where you're putting your energy, and you're going to have feelings that come up with that, you know, but there's kind of like that expression of we teach people how we want to be treated, right? So you kind of have to teach people like, okay, this is kind of my need right now, and this is kind of the reality for right now. And I acknowledge it sucks, but it's what's working for the best. And I want to keep doing that, you know, so there's some need for assertiveness there. Really powerful reading for you guys, pile 2. I'll be honest, this was the pile I picked. So I really enjoy being a part of that experience and that journey with you guys to grow and continue to do this work, and am glad that I can offer even my own personal experiences to help advise you guys on what that's all like. All right, so rune messages. We'll do 2 because I did 2 for pile 1. We have these 2 beautiful ones. Okay, so I do not have these memorized, so I'm going to consult my guide here. So this one here with the up arrow, this is Tiwaz. It symbolizes masculinity, justice, leadership, logic, and battle. Very appropriate for what we're talking about. And then we have number 19, which is Awaz, a horse. It symbolizes transportation, movement, progress, trust, and change. Okay. So I love this for you guys. I know I can resonate with those a lot as well. So this is saying that yes, you are having to, literally with the up arrow, you are having to exert yourself, put energy into things to at times shield or have boundaries. It could even feel like a battle at times, right? But this is actually teaching you about how to tap into your inner masculine and helping you learn how to apply yourself with that type of energy that can protect you. So it's a good thing, in other words, right? And with this one here, it's just acknowledging that things are going to move forward. You are going to get the change that you need to help you with this situation, so you don't have to constantly feel like you're in the situation that's a battle. The only constant in life is change, right? So there's something that you're getting out of this situation right now with it being the way it is. There's lessons that you're learning, but once you kind of get into more mastery with those lessons, you're increasingly going to be moving forward. Okay, so please rest assured in that. So I'm sending you love, pile 2 peeps. Please drop a comment below. Let me know how you resonated with this reading. I so love to hear from you guys when you watch my pick a card videos in the comments. Say hello. Let me know how you resonated with the reading, or where you found me, or just drop some love, emojis even. Any kind of positive, loving support. It makes me so happy to see that. And it's actually what makes me want to come back and record more videos, is when I see you guys, you know, just saying that, you know, you found me from Saged App or you're enjoying the videos. That really keeps me going. So please keep it up. And of course, as always, like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Much love, pile 2. All right, pile 3 peeps. I'm excited to get into the cards for you. Pile 2 had a really powerful reading, so if you were drawn to both, I would recommend kind of dipping and dabbing between the two, because pile 2 is a really powerful reading. So for you guys, pile 3, let's see what your messages are. I'm excited to get into it. I'm just going to take a second to acclimate to your cards. Okay. So actually, I'm going to start once again with the Slavic oracle. So we have Sing. And I am going to actually reference the guidebook for this because they have different stories and associations that go along with them. So we have Sing. It says, make musical sounds with the voice, especially words with a set tune. On Christmas Eve, the sound of carolers litter the streets. Singing groups called koledari go from home to home sharing songs in order to grant blessings and rid the town of evil spirits. In Bulgaria, songs sung from midnight to dawn have the power to chase demons away. Within Slavic culture, songs have been sung to grant peace and protection in various rituals. These songs not only carry magic within them, but they carry the history of the people who sing them. As literature and documentation concerning early Slavic traditions is sparse, most of the information we have today concerning early Slavic culture comes from the lyrics within folk songs. And then there's a little bit more there. So it says, you know, being alive, harmony, festivity, friendships, throat chakra, unity, winter, and, you know, acknowledging just kind of this energy of like this sense of joy or peace that can come with groups of people getting together and kind of having their voice be heard. It's interesting because you guys do have, I contribute to the greater good of the world with the self-love affirmation cards that I have there. And so angels, where do you want to take me next? Okay, they want me to go here. So we have protection, okay? And we also have the Fool here. So I don't know, I need to pull another card for you guys because this energy is a little bit like confusing and unclear, which doesn't always happen. So let's go back. Let's do another card here for this group, please. Clarification card. Okay, that is a help. And let's also pull another tarot one. Clarification card for pile 3, please. Angels, please, and thank you. I'm gonna do another one. Okay, so I randomly cut the deck and I did get 3 of Cups, which is an energy about unity, celebration, coming together. So there's definitely some energies there. I'm wondering if you guys recently or soon will have something where you can celebrate with other people about. That could be kind of cool, because you got that message almost like twice with this card and even just a little bit of that when I cut the deck. We have as well your kind of clarification cards, leap of faith, take a risk and put your heart's desires into action. This actually really closely aligns with the Fool card that you guys have, okay? It's interesting too, because I almost feel like this is a metaphor that as I pulled more cards, it's like now the energy is starting to really flow. So I wonder if you went through something recently where you were very confused, looking at different pieces of a puzzle and not understanding how they would flow or how they were going to work or align. But now it's like you did have to do a bit more information seeking, but now it's like you're actually, now that you're getting this new information, it's starting to flow now because you're like, oh, this matches with this, that matches with that. I see I can connect these dots here and that could work over there. So you're kind of like starting to figure it out a bit, you know, but you are still very much at the beginning of this journey with the Fool card and the Leap of Faith. So it's encouraging you to keep going on this path. You are at the very beginning of it. And that's why sometimes you might feel a little unsettled because you're kind of, there's this naivety here where you're like still kind of figuring it out. But with this protection card, it's like, yeah, even though there's that vulnerability at times, you may have actually gone through a phase for a long time where you were really kind of in hermit mode. You might have been doing a lot of emotional, energetic healing work, literally like in this way in which your guides were carrying you, you know, through that process. So you're kind of coming out of this like super womb and kind of shell space. I'm actually hearing this song, by India RE, which is Break the Shell. You guys might want to check out that song. I'm going to write that down because I want to listen to it as well. But definitely check out that song because it's a really good song about this very type of thing, which is about, you know, overcoming a phase of your life or a period in which you did have to be like this, but then you reach a point where it's like you do have to then open up at a certain point and start to break free once you've kind of gotten to a place of healing, okay? So you guys are being encouraged to, yes, you have been in this very protective space, you know, so for some of you, this could be about career because we do want to talk about these cards in a second. For others of these could also be about love, right? So maybe you have been very closed off to love and now you're like, okay, I kind of want to start dating again. So you're kind of like at the beginning of this process though, and like opening yourself up, you know. Either way though, there is this energy of shifting from that more closed energy where you had to really do that inner work to now kind of this more exploratory energy, right? And with, where do I want to go next? Okay, they want me to go over here. So we've got, you know, Page of Pentacles and the Empress were the clarifier cards. So Page of Pentacles here, this is about a lot of communication about opportunities. This could certainly be job prospects or career things you're communicating a lot about. With the Empress here, this is indicating it's really good. It's really fertile, you know. In fact, I actually wrote a blog post just recently. It'll go out in the new email newsletter that comes with this video, talking about all about the Empress energy and how you can embody it, my recommendations. So definitely check that post out because I go in depth about the Empress energy. Look for the Arwin GIF in my at juliannefay.com/blog, or if you get my email newsletter, you'll get it right away. But this is about, you guys are in this receptive place where you're manifesting these opportunities and there is communication that's coming through. Again, with the Empress energy, this is a little bit like in the womb, and with Page of Pentacles, this is a youthful energy when it comes to money and communications. So you're at the beginning of this process, but things are looking good. With the Empress, this is about receptivity, being in a place where you are receptive to now receive. So this feels really good for you guys, you know, and we have this Sing card and the contribute to the greater good, and a little bit of that Three of Cups when I cut the deck. So I do feel like there will be cause to celebrate in the near future. And these might be celebrations that really align with your soul path, your soul purpose. You are going to have to be a little bit, though, just aware that this is a process that does involve some level of risk taking, in which you may not know all the answers. You may not know exactly what this is gonna, I'm hearing you won't know how it's gonna land until you kind of start on the path. So this is about also trusting that you're making the right choices, using your intuition as a guidance system to take you into the right places and spaces with people and things to try out, to give you, you know, more energy down that path. With the Mountain here and the Rider from the Lenormand, okay, the Rider always indicates like the heralding of news. It's like a message coming in. So this could be certainly like receiving an email or some type of communication. And this comes in and it's like, okay, like, here's the message, here's the thing to do. It's interesting as well because this is card number 1 in the Lenormand, and we have the Fool, which is the beginning. So you have both beginning cards from 2 totally different deck styles, the Tarot and the Lenormand. So it's like, and from this Goddess Oracle, you also had about, you know, leap of faith. So there are a lot of parallels going on with this like fresh start energy, you know, and you being at the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if you're waiting on hearing news, or you're going to get news in some type of way. This news might be something that helps you to kind of, so this card, if I'm remembering, is usually about blocks and obstacles. But the way that I'm interpreting it for you guys is kind of like that Capricornian energy. So it says, you know, obstacle, limitation, boundary, problem, delay. So there may have been a lot of delays in getting on this path of where you want to go, but you guys are now going to start to get the news, the information, the messages you need to start to move forward. And I also, just being an astrologer, I can't help but see with that mountain, that's that Capricornian energy, right? Which is about career and climbing the mountain. So doing this work step by step to go up this mountain, up this journey, you know? And sometimes it is frustrating because we could be climbing the mountain and then it's like all of a sudden, you know, some snow bank like loosens, and then this like snow like completely rolls down the mountain and sets you back further than you thought you would have been at that time. And then you have to climb back up over it, right? So this could have been an energy too of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, where you feel like you're making progress, then you go back. But I think that you are absolutely moving forward. There's no doubt from this spread here with all of these like, you know, Fool energy cards here in a good way. This is about, yeah, this new adventure that you're embarking on, right? I do think at times, because you have Knight of Wands and Diana focused intention, keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target and you will make your mark. I think at times you guys might feel a little bit impulsive or impatient with this process, because the Knight of Wands is not really like, he's a very excited energy. He's like, let's, you know, let's come in, let's do some stuff. And he's not quite mature enough yet though to understand how to like kind of conquer right? Like the conqueror, like the King of Wands would be. You know, the King of Wands would be very like, okay. In fact, I'll see if I can show you guys from this deck, if I can find it. The King of Wands in this deck, it's really good the way that they show it, because he's kind of like world domination planner man. So yeah, look, no reversal there. Probably at the back of the deck. It's always at the back of the deck. Oh, no, I missed it somehow. I will keep looking here. But yeah, Knight of Wands is more youthful excitement and exuberance, you know. So for, I don't know if it was for some of you I was channeling it about as well with love. So there might be also some energy that comes in where it's like the Knight of Wands can also be like sudden, you know, a fling or something romantic that doesn't really last very long. So it's kind of up to you if you want to take that, or if you want to say no. If you want to say no, I don't want like the quick, you know, the quick and dirty. I want something that's more long lasting, something that aligns with the intentions I've made, right? Which is for it to be committed, for it to be loving, to be loyal, to be long term, whatever it might be for you. So there could be this energy of having to balance like the impatience of like, here he is, of like, I want it now, and I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to impulsively like do this instead of waiting for the thing that's like even better for you, you know? And so I randomly cut the deck again, and I did get Ace of Swords, which does indicate mental clarity. So this also could be that you have been confused for a while about how to make this work, but I think now you're becoming more clear about it, you know? So look at the difference between these two energies, okay? So this is the King of Wands, and this is the Knight of Wands. So you can see here, it's like the world is there. He's got a plan, right? He's not alone. He has, you know, the support of his pet there, and he's really kind of, this is like a leadership energy. This is like delineating, okay, we're going to do this here and we're going to go there. This might be you in a leadership position, or just you being the leader of your own life. With the Knight of Wands, he's got kind of like the seeds of that energy, but he's not fully there yet. Okay, so we need the Knight of Wands to help us get to here, because it's hard to get right to here. So the Knight of Wands is absolutely serving a purpose. This could be you right now. It's like you just know that you're passionate, that you're enthusiastic, you know, about wanting to move forward on this path, and that's all you know. You don't fully understand how it's all going to work out on this like grand master plan. You just know, I feel passionate. But you have to just watch, because the Knight of Wands can be like a little bit impatient and kind of like, oh, well, you know, I'm not here for the long term, so whatever, I'm just going to kind of come in and do and then leave, you know? But it could be also that maybe you're balancing some kind of temporary or short-term things to then help you get to this more mastery energy, right? So I think that you are getting to a place more of clarity with this whole situation. And with this focused intention, it reminds me of kind of like Ace of Swords in a way, where it's like becoming really clear in your mind, you know? So if you need more clarity, praying to your guides and your angels and being like, please show me the signs, make them extremely clear, you know, having really clear manifestation things that you write out. So, you know, you can practice scripting, which is when you actually are like writing out the story of how you want something to be before you're living it. So you step into it. So for you guys that pick this pile, I definitely see some positive energy here of things in the future to celebrate. There is this energy, though, about needing to try to kind of trust this process that's unfolding, because you're at the beginning of this adventure. You know, you don't have it all figured out yet. You are in this process of figuring it out. What you do have to offer is this sense of enthusiasm, and that you know for sure. I do think it would help you to maybe pray for increasing mental clarity about what to do here. And with this, I contribute to the greater good of the world. Let that be kind of like your focus, you know? So when you offer those prayers, say like, I want this or something better for the highest good of all involved, you know? And really just kind of like offering it up to source in that way and saying like, I want to be of service. I want to contribute to the good of the world. So help me do that. You know, help me get the clarity I need to apply myself to be, do, and have those things of clarity. Okay, rounding out here with our rune messages. We've got this one. And this one. I'm pulling two because I pulled two for the other piles. Okay, so we have these two beautiful runes, of which I am going to tell you what they mean in a second. So we have this one here, which is 7, and this is Gebo. So this represents a gift, balance, exchange, partnership, generosity, relationships. Okay, so for some of you, yeah, we're manifesting a relationship here, okay? But with that Knight of Wands, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some relationships that come in, which are more like short-term, kind of quicker flames in the process of you then getting more clear. Like they might come in to give you the chance to get more clear on what it is that you want, you know, or jobs even too. It could be like some type of short-term job that comes in that you are like excited about, it works, and then you get that clarity of like, okay, yes, more of this part of it, less of this part, and let's move forward from there. But yeah, there's some goodness happening here with this Gebo, you know, and that was coming up too with your cards about something to celebrate. And then we also have number 10, which is Nathus, N-A-U-T-H-I-Z, Nathus. It represents need. It symbolizes restriction, conflict, willpower, endurance, and self-reliance. So yeah, and if I remember correctly, this one, you know, it kind of looks a little bit like a cross. So it is this energy about feeling like you do have a bit of a cross to bear with this, right? And I think that that was kind of what was coming up with the Lenormand, which was saying about, you know, the blocks and obstacles with the Rider card there. Like you've been wanting news with this. You've been wanting to hear back from that person. You've been wanting this forward momentum with some of this stuff. It hasn't really been working at the timeline you would have liked. So this is acknowledging that there has been some burden here with getting this like off the ground. But I see you guys really moving into this positive space of now starting to really receive these gifts and this this thing to celebrate about in the near future. And I'm getting the sense of the number 4. So for some of you, this could be getting inklings of it in 4 days. And then I'm also getting a much stronger sense though around like 4 weeks, feeling more of that celebratory energy, 3 to 4 weeks. So 4 days to 3 to 4 weeks, take it as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, feel free to leave it behind. So that's what I have for you, pile 3. I loved your reading. It was really great. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know how you resonated with that. I love, love, love hearing your comments. Your positive, supportive messages are what keep me going to want to come back and record more videos. So I love hearing from you guys. And please, as always, like this video and subscribe to this channel. It does help my channel out so very much. And yeah, have a wonderful full moon for this full moon and Scorpio cycle. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the next, it'll be a new moon, and I believe it'll be in Taurus, if I'm not mistaken. So I will talk to you guys then. Much love.